Haha. Good people. What's going on? This is your boy Cool McCain. It is a Monday, 6:30-ish, and we live and in the building for another episode. Monarchs of Wrestling. I am here with my fellow monarch, one the playmaker. Playmaker, he feeling a little bit under the weather tonight, so y'all give my man a little grace. What's going on, playmaker?
What's up? We're gonna try to get through this as best we can tonight.
Yes, sir. So this ain't no basketball show, but I gotta say this is the first time that we have been in contact besides messages since last night. Shout out to my man Playmaker and his New York Liberty for winning the WNBA 2024 championship. I watched the
Appreciate
game in its entirety last night. I know there are people complaining from the other team, but if you miss as many shots as they missed in overtime, you cannot complain if you lose a game. You cannot complain about calls or nothing because they let them women beat each other up. They did
Appreciate it.
call some things, but at the end of the day, you can't miss that many shots in overtime and your coach out there whining and complaining. Stop acting like you coach the Dallas Cowboys and be humble and defeat. So shout out to you,
28
bro.
years. 28 years. Finally.
Yes, amen. I'm happy for you. I know my team is never going to win a championship. They don't even want to keep a head coach for a couple of years. So we're never going to win a championship. So I'm living vicariously through you, my brother. I understand there are some sports where some teams just don't get it done, and the Dream is one of the teams that I don't think is going to get it done anytime soon. But hey, I'm gonna still support them. All right. So in the building, we got one of our esteemed guests that was on with us a couple of weeks ago. It should probably be on with us more often. Miss Williams, Yolanda. Hello. How are you? Thank you for tuning in as you always do. And Damien's in the building with the what's up. Damien ain't even spoiled nothing yet. Well, he's trying to, but we're not gonna let him do it yet. We're not gonna let him do it. We're
I
gonna get to
mean,
that.
literally, like just happened not that long ago. So
Right. But you know, Damien, he got to jump on it. That's what our guy does. But we're gonna start this thing off what we normally do. Normally, y'all know, regular weeks we just go over what happened on the on the show. But weeks where we have pay-per-views, premium live events, whatever you call them, different companies, everybody got a different name. We kind of just go through the card, what's gonna happen. TNA has Bound for Glory on Saturday. You can watch it on TNA Plus. It's pumped up everywhere, but you can watch it on TNA Plus. They're gonna have this is their event, just like their WrestleMania. They have Hall of Famers going to the Hall of Fame and everything. So, excuse me. We're gonna go ahead and get into that. But before we do, I want to shout out Real Wise Radio, where you can also be listening to us live in effect, not now, but right now. And let's get to it. So TNA is inducting two gentlemen into their Hall of Fame this year. One is Bob Ryder, and the other is Rhino. So, not going to go into a lot of detail. I'm just going to say that they will cover everything with these two gentlemen, why they belong in their Hall of Fame and all that on the live and free countdown show before Bound for Glory. All right. And also, they're going to have a Call Your Shot gauntlet match. They have not expressed everyone that will be a part of that. But what I do know is the winner will have an opportunity to go after whatever championship that they would like on the men's side by calling their shot. Obviously, it's probably going to be the TNA World Heavyweight Championship, but you never know. Could be a tag team wrestler that wins and they won't got the tag team championships or X Division or whatever. But you get a chance if you win to call your shot gauntlet matches. One of the things the TNA does when they do these gauntlet matches is they'll just put people in there. Sometimes they try to get some surprise and shock, so you don't always get all the information early. That's TNA. That's what it is. It's all good though. It's all good. And of course, this event is in Detroit. All right. So first match on the Bound for Glory card, according to what I'm seeing on TNA's official website. This could change. Cards always subject to change. The TNA Knockouts World Tag Team Championships. We have Spitfire versus Rosemary and Wendy Chu. So Spitfire are the champs going into the match. Rosemary and Wendy Chu are your challengers. Uh, Playmaker, did you want to make a choice?
I'm just gonna see if they're gonna do something with Rosemary and company because that hasn't been, you know, going anywhere.
Right. Yeah, I'm picking Rosemary and Wendy Chu to win. Like you said, you gotta do something with it. All right, and then we have the Monsters Ball match between PCO and Matt Cardona. This match is presented by the Eye of Salamander, which is in theaters November the 1st. Smart marketing by both sides. The Monsters Balls match, of course, is pretty much you do whatever you want to each other. But again, this is for the digital media and the International Wrestling Championships. I don't think having one champion have two belts and never splitting them up makes a lot of sense. So I would like whoever wins this match to start defending one belt, then the other, or whoever gets the belt to start defending, one or the other. So that way you can lose one, still be a champion, but we don't need two belts with the same guy. We don't need that.
Is there a time limit in this?
What the match?
That's a rhetorical question.
Who you got winning that match, sir? Matt Cardona and PCO.
I'm gonna go with Chelsea's green husband.
PCO. I'm gonna go with Matt Cardona. I think he'll have somebody come in and help him, something slimy. It makes more sense.
I said Chelsea's green husband.
Oh, you said Chelsea Green. I'm thinking about my bad. Storyline. PCO. What's it called? My bad. All right. So we'll agree on that one. All right, and then we have the X Division Championship. We have Speedball Mike Bailey versus Vikingo. You've seen him on AEW. If you watch other wrestling promotions, you've seen him on as well. Now he's challenging for the X Division Championship. I am going to say Mike Bailey keeps his championship. I don't see him losing it yet. But Vikingo is a good challenger and somebody that you can look at and say maybe he could beat him. So that's why I'm going.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll with the champ. He just got the belt not that long ago.
Right. He said everything I said in 2 words. All right, then we got Josh Alexander versus Steve Macklin. Josh Alexander winning is the only thing that makes sense, so I'm gonna go with that.
I'm gonna go with Josh Alexander, but this one, put a question mark on that match.
Okay.
That's gonna be the question mark of the card.
Then we got Moose versus Mike Santana.
Moose
is not gonna be out there by himself. Definitely gonna have the squad. I'm going Moose too.
Well, I like Mike Santana, but everywhere he's been, you can correct me if I'm wrong, he's never been at that level. Moose is at that level.
I'm not gonna correct you because you're not wrong.
I was say correct me if I'm wrong, but Moose is at that level. Moose should not lose this.
Yeah, if you're gonna have Moose, the fourth match from the third match of the main event, the fourth match after from the top of the card, he winning that match. Period. All right, then we have the TNA World Tag Team Championships and Full Metal Mayhem, another match where you can basically just do what you want, just call it something different. But basically, you got ladders and beat each other up and do whatever you want. ABC versus the Hardys versus the Champs, the System. So the System back-to-back matches mean they can be out there to help Moose, and then Moose can be out there with Alicia Edwards to help them. So I'm going to say the System comes out with the championships by nefarious means, but they keep the championships.
Yeah. I just don't like the fact that Hardy's in it, because anytime you put Hardy's in a ladder match,
yeah,
things can happen. So, but I'm going to roll with the System.
Then we got the TNA Knockouts World Championship match. Jordan Grace versus Masha Slamovich. One could argue, oh, maybe Masha's going to be the person that's going to beat Jordan because there's nobody left. It's not going to be. It's not going to be at all. It's going to be Jordan Grace. Nobody beats the Juggernaut.
Question.
Yes, sir.
Are there contract talks going on with the Juggernaut? I've been seeing free agency roaming around when it comes to the Juggernaut.
Yeah, that I'm not sure, but I think what they'll do is kind of what they did with Naomi. If she does end up leaving, they'll have her lose before she leaves. But you're not going to, you know what I'm saying? You're not going to have her re-sign a contract if you take the championship offer. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. If y'all know who I'm picking.
Hey, you picking the Juggernaut with me. Now we have an interesting match. We have the TNA World Heavyweight Championship match. Special guest referee Frankie Kazarian. On one side, you have your champion, nickname of FKA, Dolph Ziggler, versus Joe Hendry. This is a tricky one to pick. I'm gonna go with Joe Hendry, and if I'm wrong, I'll be wrong. But I'm gonna go with Joe Hendry.
I was going to ask: is the 15-minute thing of Joe Hendry's done for now?
Well, I think TNA is in a precarious situation with him because they're letting him train at WWE's facilities. They're letting him be on NXT. If you don't put some gold on Mr. Hendry, you may not have Mr. Hendry when his contract up. You know what I'm saying?
And then there's another guy. I think he starts with a J. Then I think we go to a B. And then I think we finish it off with an L. Mm-hmm. That's lurking around.
Now, Nick Namath claims that JBL will not be involved in the match.
Keyword claim.
I'm just saying. I think we either get Joe Hendry or we get some type of heel Nick Namath turn.
That would be interesting, though, because you usually don't get the champion who's a face turn heel while still in the ring.
I think that's the only two ways this match goes. I don't see Nick Namath beating as popular as Joe Hendry is, and you know WWE's after him. So if you're not going to put gold on his waist, you're basically saying just go. You know what I'm saying? That's really more of my thought on it.
I'm going to go with Nick. When did Nick Namath win that title?
He won it from Moose. It's been some months. He's had it for at least like 4 months.
4 months. You know what? Just to see how this goes, I'm going to roll with the champ. I'm going to go with Nick Namath.
Fair enough. Nothing wrong with supporting the champ. All right, so Damien asked a question. He says, question, if and when Jordan leaves to WWE, do you think JG will go with her or will she go to AEW? Who is JG he's talking about? Because that's Jordan Grace. Oh, some guy named JG?
You might have meant to put when her contract is up with TNA, does she go to WWE or AEW? And that's where my question came in from, because there was people saying that like she might AEW should do everything they can to get Jordan Grace before WWE.
She would have more of a platform for her with AEW, I would think.
Oh, maybe Jonathan Gresham.
He says Jonathan Gresham. Thank you, Cole. And then Damien says her husband, Jonathan Gresham. Well, I'll be honest with you. If I'm Jonathan Gresham, I'm going to leave whether she stays or not. I mean, what has he done in Ring of Honor? Right? Be really good. What has he done in AEW? I mean, when he's in AEW, decent when he was there. He's in TNA. What has he done? I don't we even heard of him. One minute he came out with this mask with some ink and he was crazy. Then he wasn't crazy. Now he's back to crazy. Like, what are they doing with this guy? Jonathan Gresham is a great talent in the ring. He's a great hand to have. If I was him, I would just go to AEW and be part of the Hurt Syndicate. That would be a better look for you than what you're doing in TNA. I'm just saying. They at least used you over there. That makes some sense. Cole, thank you for tuning in, sir. He says the nickname of the versus Joe Hendry match could go like it did for Hogan in 1983 in AWA. They had Hogan chasing the belt but never getting it, which had him go to the WWE. Right. That's why I say, if you're smart, go and put that bet on Joe Hendry. Because if not, he's going to chase somebody else's belt, the NXT Championship. And Cole follows up, but that's what made it transpire with Joe Hendry and TNA if they decide not to put the TNA World Heavyweight Championship on him. Colin says, good evening, Monarchs. Good evening, Head Shifter. Great show this morning, as always, by the way, sir. All right, so we're going to take our first commercial break. Then we're going to come back. And we are going to hop into, of course, some AEW.
Rams fans all around the world.
It's a beautiful thing to be a Rams fan right now. Stafford's back. We're going to see about Cup. And running back Kyren Williams to return.
Lend me your ears, or should I say lend Playmaker your ears, as he breaks down week by week everything in the Los Angeles Rams canon.
Number 99, Aaron Donald. Can't wait for 2029 to come to know that you are going in the Hall of Fame, and it should be first ballot, no questions asked.
Join the Playmaker as he breaks down everything Los Angeles Rams style in Ramily Talk on the Playmakers Blog Network YouTube channel and where you can find podcasts. Oh, yes. The tradition, the pageantry, the spectacle, the history, the slut. Wait. I gotta rep my brother's stuff right. All my DMV soldiers, stand up! And welcome to the Commander's Gridiron Report. You want your commanders to be repped right? Well, D. Willie is your man. Commander's Gridiron Report. Every Tuesday at 11:05 a.m. Eastern, 10:05 a.m. Central on the Sotoba Media YouTube channel. Music by J. Cool.
Where my soldiers? Right side. Commanders. Where my soldiers? Left side.
Drew Willingham.
In this case, yeah, you put the blame on Kyle Shanahan for apparently not preparing the team enough for the overtime rules, supposedly.
Cole Johnson.
Peyton was considered the winner, and he was the darling of all darlings for Gerald.
With a special appearance by Tyrone Alizé McDummy.
Ain't nobody calling me. Text. Delete.
Join these two football enthusiasts as they give you Total Football Talk. Live every Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central on the Sotoba Media and the Comey Media YouTube channels. Eagles fan. Join my man Cool McCain and a host of others as they break down every single game, every single week in an objective manner, and also from a fan's perspective as well. Remember, this cast feels just like you. Nobody likes you. And you don't care. Fly, Eagles, fly. Eagles Elite Podcast. Every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern on YouTube and other podcast outlets.
All right, good people. Back in the building we are. We're here to talk. Little AEW. But before that, also shout out to 502 Angel Radio. Shout out to Shady Sports Network, where you can also catch the Monarchs. Of course, you can also catch Monarchs on at Real Play Callers on YouTube. So a lot of different places that you can listen to, see, or be a part of Monarchs of Wrestling. But if you want to chat with us live, give us your thoughts, your comments, like Damien does, like Yolanda does, like our guy, the Mad Scientist, so many other monikers, Mr. Cole Johnson from the Morning Shift does, and so many others. Hey, feel free to scroll on through and put those thoughts, because we get to them. That's what we do around here. All right, with that said, a little AEW Dynamite talk. AEW Dynamite was interesting. So we know that Jon Moxley is the new World Heavyweight Champion, right? We know that. We still haven't got real clarity as to what Jon Moxley's trying to do, but I think that's the point, is they're kind of being vague so that they can take it in different directions if they want to. At least that's what I'm going to say, right? It is still Mr. White Powder Tornado that's doing this, so we never know 100%, but I'm going to say that's what it feels like is happening. I'll go that route. All right, we got what we did get from Moxley is him talking about how he hates AEW and what has become everybody works for him. Okay. All I really got is that's okay. It's a little jumbled right now. I think it'll have to take some time to play out. And it kind of clarified itself a little bit on some levels throughout the show. We'll talk about that too. Adam Cole gave a promo about being a babyface after turning on MJF after months of friendship. Basically, he was saying how he's evil and that he knows firsthand how evil MJF is and that you can't trust him and, blase, blase, blase. And this whole angle doesn't make sense because the roles are in the wrong place. MJF, as the one who can't trust again because of how he did him, should be the babyface of this. But what AEW did in one of those tornado showers of white powder is they turned him heel for no reason. And now you had to bring Adam Cole back as a face because you can't have a heel versus heel matchup. Because if you do that, then you're going to turn around and turn MJF face because of everything that's happening. So this whole angle just doesn't hit for me. They're trying to justify the stupidity that they executed, but it doesn't work. Adam Cole did make a funny about MJF having hair transplant surgery, which was a little funny. But I mean, Adam Cole, you might want to go do that yourself, my boy. Just want to throw it out there. So we got a little weird promo. Chris Jericho had challenged I always forget this dude's name.
Mark Briscoe did not cheat.
I always want to say Jay Briscoe, but I know that's wrong. So Mark Briscoe accepted Jericho's challenge for a rematch. So
I'm sorry I had to pull a Cole Johnson.
It's okay. I couldn't remember his name. It's all good. So they had a match between FTR and the Learning Tree Branches, they were called. Brian Keith and Big Bill. It was a good match. After the match, of course, you know who won. FTR with the Shatter Machine. You know, they pinned Brian Keith. The Outriders came out and they did a handshake with FTR after the match. It was a little weird, but it is what it is. All right, then we had a nice match here. So Mercedes Moné, who is a very beautiful woman. And then we had Queen Aminata, who definitely belongs in the cake community. Have a match for the TNT Championship. Long story short, of course, Mercedes Moné won.
Hey, I'm just saying, Cole. The man did an interview talking about he got cheated out of a title. I had to go to your bad for that one. Like, really?
So Cole says that's ice cold playmaker. I love the shout out. Cole don't realize it, but he's got a little petty sliding through him too.
No, he realized he just other people don't realize and he takes advantage of it.
The best part of this match was they looked really good wrestling each other. We've spent a lot of complaints about Monet and her matches in AEW, but I think with Queen Aminata, she had an opponent that was a good wrestler herself, and they were able to have a good match together. Camille provided a distraction that caused Aminata to end up in the statement maker, which was the bank statement, and used that to pin her. I mean, to defeat her. The one thing about this match.
Here's my thing.
Go ahead.
Why do you have a woman that's pretty much bigger and stronger than Mercedes Moné tapping out?
Because she got distracted by Camille. And then she was able to get her in the statement maker, which is how she won. Because the distraction is what helped her win.
I'll say this again. How somebody that's bigger and stronger taps out to Mercedes Moné.
Well, sir, I mean, would you rather her tap her out or would you rather her pick her up and slam her and pin her? The realistic way would be to tap out, right?
Because that's what she normally does to bigger opponents.
So we're starting to see a little bit of an evolution of the move set that Mercedes Moné is using in AEW. She's pulling out the statement maker, which was forming the bank statement. She's got a couple other moves she hasn't shown that she's done before. So if she's going to pull out more moves, and that's going to allow her to have more realistic victories, because if it's not a submission victory, how do you expect her to beat Queen Aminata? The only other way she could have won the match was if Camille made a distraction and she hit her with a championship and then pinned her. You know what I'm saying? Like, there wasn't really another way that you could have her win besides those two. In my opinion, of course. But I do get where you're coming from, but you got to do something to diversify Mercedes Moné, or they're going to end up having to just take her off TV. Just like right her out of the square. Get beat up,
even though she ain't drawing nothing anyway.
Well, you're trying to do some things to get her to draw by giving her more of a move set and different stuff. You're trying to do something, right? Because she's definitely not a draw at this point. So you're trying to do something to turn her into a draw.
And those of you who are new, we're talking about somebody that I ain't infatuated with the Mercedes Moné.
Yes.
Cool, will tell you.
Very beautiful woman, but they're not using her correctly. But this is a step in the right direction, I do believe, when you look at what they've done by her in the past. All right, next match we had the conglomeration.
They may put a question in the chat. He actually put it on topic this time. What?
All right, Damien says, question, since everyone wants to accuse Triple H of racism, which is fair, why not go after TK? Cause when was there ever a women's AEW champion of color? So far, I see Thunder Rosa, and Nyla Rose. Well, that would be a good question, except for there was one woman that had a dominant reign with the TNT championship. You might know her name. I mean, TBS championship, excuse me. Jade Cargill, undefeated until she lost the championship when she was going to lead the company. So after allowing her to have that long run with the TBS championship, I can't remember if she was the first champion, but I know she was one of the first champions. That's very wise. And that shows me that that's not what's going on with Tony Khan. And besides the fact, the current TBS champion draws nothing, and he still will not take the belt off her. Another woman of color. So while they're not AEW World Champion, they're elevating the TBS Championship by holding it. And she's going to have a lengthy reign too. So you're going to get two females of color, two BIPOC females, both who are African American, that are going to have long reigns with the TBS Championship. Triple H would not have done that. Well, should there be an AEW champion that's a color? Yes, but for me, I would like you to build the person though, because when you don't
have
build,
Nia Jax as the WWE Women's Champion.
So what? Say what?
We do have Nia Jax as WWE Women's Champion.
Yeah. What I'm saying though is Nia Jax is actually Samoan.
Dude, the majority of people would see her like that, like me and you would.
Well, I'm just saying that's the same as Thunder Rosa or Nyla Rose to me.
That's why I say outside of you and me, the majority of the people would see them that they're Samoan. Or would they see
it? Depends. It all depends, sir. And Cole, you know that I agree with you, sir. Queen Aminata, double cakes. Caked up, caked out. Absolutely. Was definitely excited to see that match. It was not because of Sasha Banks. And I don't care what her name is, Mercedes, but Sasha Banks. I'm tired of this bull crap, Sasha Banks.
Well, she's using her real name, so.
Well, that's not her wrestling name, Sasha Banks.
It's not wrestling with her real name, Mercedes.
I don't care. She was introduced to be a Sasha.
Those of you who are new to the show, I'm infatuated with Mercedes.
Yes, Monday. I understand that it's her real name, but that's not her wrestling name. I know she's. No, I'm gonna do a key here. I'm gonna do a key. Shout out to Key. I know she's at Raw, so she's not watching today. But shout out to Key. We're gonna let her. I'm gonna actually rid her of her slave name. We're gonna call her Mercedes Monet. Because Key would say that's her slave name. Sasha Banks. All right, so next up we had a 6-man match. Orange Cassidy, Rocky Romero, and Kyle O'Reilly, known as the Conglomeration, versus the elite combination of Kazuchika Okada and the Young Bucks. Yeah, I don't care about the championships because they don't hardly defend them. So I'm not even acknowledging champions that don't defend their championships no more. They're just props.
Was that after or before they had an intervention with Private Party?
This was before. Okay. If I remember correctly. At the end of the match, Moxley and his crew came out and just destroyed the conglomeration. The elite was on the ramp just looking to shop, but they didn't help them. Top Flight came out to help. They were dispatched. And then the Dark Order came out. Same thing happened. Moxley gave like another one of those wet speeches before they left. And then
we have freaking Stokely around here trying to break up Private Party.
Yeah. Backstage, the elite offered Omega a happy birthday cake, and then they covered it in animal intestines because they said he had to have a bunch of his intestines removed surgically. Very disrespectful.
Not to mention what Jack Perry said.
Yeah. I was gonna.
And now we're not reiterating words right here on this air.
No, we're not. Yeah. All right. So also there was a segment. I forgot where it was placed. I think it was after this, but either way, the private party was in the back. They were talking about they were having a thing, and then of course the Young Bucks, being the jerks they are, they came up. So private party was like, "We want another shot at the belts," because they asked them to come. So they came and was like, "We want another shot at the belts," and they're basically like, "Nope."
You lost your opportunity.
You lost? Nope.
Which in this regard, I don't blame the Young Bucks for once.
I like that because it was a clean victory, right? Like they beat them. So you got to go back. You got to start at the bottom and build your way back up. Maybe you'll be on TV more. Also in that same segment, before they came, actually it was after that. Stokely Carmichael was there, and he was saying how y'all don't win because I offered you my help, and you want to take it. You don't win because you keep on doing the same thing. It's not working. So we're just gonna keep watching you lose. And one half agreed. Mark Quinn did not agree. So we're gonna see how that goes. I think private party
the main takeaway though. He did apply something. He did apply that Isaac is the main guy of the group.
He did.
Duo.
Yeah, Mark Quinn didn't like that. But Mark Quinn be hurt all the time. So he really wasn't lying just because one guy's hurt and one guy's not. All right. I was trying to get to this. I ain't gonna lie. I just want to heard this so we can get here. Shelton Benjamin, in-ring debut in AEW against Leo Rush. Leo Rush was accompanied to the ring by Layla Gray. Layla Gray is caked up. I'm not even just gonna say that. Leo Rush had a decent match, but he was dominated by the gold standard. Clean win. Benjamin looked good. MVP left Leo Rush a business card after beating him down.
MVP's on the recruitment trail, like he in college.
Yep. That's how you get people. All right. So Jay White, the Switchblade versus Christian Cage. This match comes about because Christian Cage was the benefactor when Jay White got hurt. So to continue his I guess we'll say revenge tour, after successfully beating Hangman Adam Page, he wanted to take Christian out. Christian came out. They had a match. It was pretty even match. Juice and Colton Gunn were out. They got ejected after Nick Wayne set them up to be caught with a chair, and they got ejected. They had a good match. Adam Page showed up, hit a buckshot lariat while the referee was distracted, and Christian Cage beat Jay White. So of course, that means their little thing is not over. Up and down booking again. You have Jay White get the win. You have him turn around and lose the match. Obviously, outside interference, but it doesn't do anything for consistent booking. You have to book guys to win or lose. And if this happens after Jay White has won 3 or 4 other matches, that makes sense. But for it to happen the very next match after he beat Hangman Adam Page, it doesn't make a lot of sense. I don't understand the booking decisions. And I understand people who go in on AEW and say, oh, they don't bill guys. This is the kind of stuff that they're talking about. We're talking about right now the reason people say AEW doesn't bill stars. People have to win. You have to see people as a dominant person for them to become a star. You can't win one week, lose the next week, lose 2 more weeks, and then win 1 week and expect to build new stars. That's not how it works, Tony Khan. How about you step out of the powder tornado sometime or give the booking to someone who knows what the flip they're doing? I didn't.
So pretty much last week I complained about having Adam Page lose. This week, Cole's complaining about having Jay White lose.
Because there's no point in having them win if you're going to turn around and have them lose the next week. You just made them both look doofy. Right? They're both coming out of the last 2 weeks looking worse than they did going into it. That's what I'm saying.
This is what I'd be talking about.
Yeah.
You gave Adam Page the big win over Swerve.
Mm-hmm.
Big win over Swerve. Then all of a sudden he beats Jeff Jarrett, but everybody saw that coming because it's Jeff Jarrett. Then he loses to a returning Jay White. And now, last Wednesday, Christian beats Jay White.
Sorry.
We do realize Christian don't even have to win another match. He still got that contract.
That's what I'm saying. So Christian's already built. So him losing the match and then getting attacked and then Jay White get attacked after the match would have made so much more sense. So much more sense. Win the match, you get up, buckshot lariat, boom. Match is over, but you still got it. But that's what I'm saying. Bad booking. That's the bookers. That's on the bookers. That's not on the story. That's on the bookers. Because you could still tell the same story, but Jay White had got the win first and then got attacked.
Like literally, Christian don't need to win another match until he feels like cashing in.
No, Christian does not need another. No, he doesn't need another win. He's Christian freaking Cage. He cheats all the time. He'll probably stab the dude in the throat with a pin before he pins him. Like that's Christian Cage. That's what he does. Now, also on the show, we had in the back I'm just gonna call him the new BCC until we get a real name. The new BCC ended up fighting with the Dark Order and Top Flight. Top Flight got put in this. One of the dudes from Top Flight got put in this little kinky move by Marina Shafir, where she had her legs tied around him and she was squeezing his neck and stuff. And people was like, you loved it when Rhea Ripley does it, but you complain when Marina Shafir does it. I don't know about them, but I wasn't complaining then either. I like that too. I like when the women get a little physical and when they show off those powerful leg muscles, right, without fighting the guys, like just choking them with a thing. I thought it was a great way to use her and then show that she is a feasible person on the team, but also she got nice legs, right? And men like to see legs. Men are the most people who watch wrestling. Keep it above. Just saying. But also you had Daniel Garcia and Top Flight kind of team up, dap each other up and say, you got my back, I got y'all back against this whole new BCC thing that's going on. And then you had the Dark Order click up with, looks like they're going to end up clicking up with Top Flight. So we're starting to see some little groups forming to try to go after this new BCC. So yeah, it was the other thing from AEW. It was a decent show. Obviously the main story was
you want to talk about the that new booking, right? So when did Don Callis make a trade for Lance Archer? 1 and 2.
That was last week. Yeah, the other thing that happened was
when did Brian Cage all of a sudden become part of the Don Callis family?
Brian Cage. Oh, that's what they do, man. That's what they do. That's part. That's what I'm saying. Booking. You don't introduce Brian Cage at a press conference. You introduce him when someone has a mask and he comes out and puts somebody in drill claw, and then helps somebody else from the team win. It's not how you introduce him. That's what I'm talking about. Just like you're shaking your head right now, that's how I was doing when I was watching it. Yeah, that's how I was doing.
But I am. As I work my way back down, Anna Jay confronts Mariah May. I think my interest has been piqued.
That's gonna be a nice match. It is. It is. All right. So Cole says my man wants to have happen so bad. Playmaker, please say hello to your CEO.
No matter how much you say that, you will still not hear me do that on this show.
If he does, I'm going off camera. I'm gonna leave it with that. But I'm like,
Cole Johnson, you know me well enough to know that I haven't. You know how long it's been since I really talked about Mercedes Moné. That tells you my displeasure right now.
Cole also says the intervention for private party doing too many gymnastic floor exercises routines in the ring. I guess it's what Stokely's trying to tell him. Stop doing all the daggone jumping and bouncing and flipping and do some wrestling.
Maybe you'll stay healthy for once.
Yeah, do some wrestling. Cole also says he loved how Shelton looked against Leo. I agree. I think they made Shelton look really dominant and strong, but at the same time showing off his athleticism and making him one of the cornerstones of this Hurt Syndicate. I want to see where they go with this. I want to see what people end up joining because I think this could be a much stronger and entertaining group than it was in WWE. I see Swerve as being the Ricochet of this version, like the guy that they want and you think is going to go, but ends up not going. But I see Ricochet going. They're doing nothing with Ricochet. Go join the Hurt Syndicate. Why not? What else you got going on? You losing international championship matches to Konosuke Takeshita. You know you didn't get pinned. You didn't win.
You either win or you don't. Same position that you was in the WWE.
You may be a little worse because they got 80 championships and they won't even let you get one of the 80. You know what I'm saying? AEW got so many championships. You get a championship. You get a championship. You get a championship. You get a championship. Oh, and by the way, all of y'all get championships. And they want to give you one of them. You might be in a worse condition. Just saying. But you probably got more money than WWE would have gave you to be in the same position. So there's that. And you about to get your boo. Might as well go ahead and drop it since we're talking about it. So.
Oh, you ain't going to commercial break? Okay.
Yeah, we'll talk about this real quick, then we'll go to commercial break. So we can make the connection because it ain't really WWE no more. And her husband already AEW, so I think the writing's on the wall.
There's a little discrepancy with some people because she said WWE Raw and she didn't necessarily WWE. So some people are thinking she may be going to a different brand. My thing is, if anything, I believe she's going to AEW because her fiance / husband is in AEW.
What up, Beantown Bakedown? My boy Bobby. What up, Bobby?
Hello.
Thanks for tuning in, checking us out, man. But I'm gonna echo Damien's comments from earlier. He says it's a sad day in wrestling. Darn Samantha, why? Yeah, I felt like reading it. It felt to me like she's not gonna be in WWE anymore. She's thinking everybody.
Because I think me and you on the same page. You don't write that length of a post if you're not leaving the company.
Yeah, if you're gonna go to Smackdown or go to NXT, right? Because you're kind of still would see the same people, essentially. Like you are leaving, you are out. Don't holler at me, I holler at you. Peace, deuces, all that. You know what I'm saying? I'm done. And they were saying for a couple of weeks she had went blank on her social media and stuff. They were saying that she was gonna probably be leaving. So Bobby says, cool, did reports ever give a reason why she's leaving? They haven't given a real reason as of yet. But it just broke today. So we'll probably have an update for you by next week. But I think it's, there's been a lot of people online that have been like, oh, she's going overboard and she's doing too much and all this. And she's one of them people that she's like Kevin Durant, right? Like she's there for it. She petty. Not the extra accounts, but she petty. She watches it and she will get back at you on social media. So I think she's got tired of that as a part of it, but I think also not being with her husband, going from seeing him every day to not seeing him because they're on different shows, just really like it's bothering her, right? Like there are some people that your husband be on another show and it's cool, right? Like Rhea Ripley
and Buddy Matthews.
Yeah, there's other people, but for her, I feel like it might have been something that was affecting her.
And but they can go ahead and bring Buddy Matthews and Malachi Black back over to WWE because they ain't doing nothing with him.
Yeah, they could bring an old boy back too. They can take the whole House of Black and move him over there, honestly, because they ain't doing nothing with him over there. But WWE didn't do nothing with Malachi Black either. So, I mean, maybe he should go to TNA and make a champion about a month.
I consider TNA WWE anyway.
Pretty much are at this point. Their best talent gonna be pretty much. But yeah, so I think that's it. I agree with Playmaker. She's gonna end up in AEW. And people say, oh, why would you leave WWE to go to AEW? Samantha Irvin and that voice and her delivery, wherever she goes, people when they see it, they're gonna be like, yeah, I'll watch just to see her and hear her introduce wrestlers. Because let's not forget, she's not just great at what she does. She is caked up and she is eye candy as well. So she will add another element of beauty to the ring announcing. It's not there presently. Bobby says that's a shame. She made a ton of improvements. Her announcer abilities vastly improved over the last 2 years. I agree.
Definitely agree, but have to realize some people would like to be with their significant others.
Well, I think that's mostly what this is. I think a little bit of it is the people saying stuff, but I think most of it is she don't want to be away from her boo like that. Yeah, I mean, if I'm a wrestler and I got a wife as bad as she is, yeah, I don't want her over there and I ain't over there. Come over to me, babe. Yolanda says, dang, I didn't know. Yeah, Yolanda, it just happened like an hour or two before.
Yeah, about an hour ago.
Yeah, it hadn't been around that long. It hadn't. It's rather new. It was so new we didn't even get to put it on the list of things that we was going to talk about because we already had everything set up early. But yeah, kind of crazy, but it happened. But all right, with that, guys, we're going to go into our second commercial break.
Ricochet.
Bobby, she's married to Ricochet. Yeah. So when he left, I kind of expected this to happen at some point, maybe a little bit later, but I'm not surprised at all.
Actually, I thought it was going to happen a little bit sooner, to be honest.
All right, y'all, we go ahead into the other commercial break, and then we'll be back. And y'all know what it is. Straight into the WWE. A lot happened. Something I definitely don't like that they're doing, but I acknowledge they were going to do it. I still hate it. Let's go.
Poppy J.
You got the option to cry for the government. You got the option to protest. You got the option to keep buying, but this is also an option.
Wise El Jefe.
We're the first tech geeks. We're the first gamers. We're the first everything. Everything. Like Gen X's, we are the ones.
BS3 Network proudly presents the crew from the New York boroughs who never wants that smoke. Nah, they want that fire. Poppy J and Wise El Jefe. Fridays at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. Check your local listings for your viewing and listening pleasure. Join the transporter to Hades.
Your butt and gut becomes one.
Join the reformer of hooker whores.
This is my daughter, Placenta Booty Johnson.
Join the bronze god.
Whenever you are in distress, take off your baseball cap and throw it in the air.
Join your very own superhero of broadcasting, Chris Bass.
So whatever color crown they get, they palm it and do 2 circles, and that translates to, I can beat up black people.
As she takes you through the week's paces in Baseline. Live every Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central, Pacific time zone people, just stay asleep when this is on live and just catch the recording. Oh, I'm sorry. Exclusively on the Chris Bass YouTube channel. Whether it's news, the largest egg producer finds bird flu in chickens at a Texas plant, weather, devastating tornadoes rip through the heart of the United States, inspiration, a breast cancer survivor completed the journey of chemotherapy, and now begins a future one of matrimony or sports. Michael Jordan is shown on a photo with Diddy. LeBron James has a video extolling the virtues of a Diddy party. This has been yet another beating a dead horse presentation. We got you covered. BS3 Network proudly presents The Morning Shift with Cole Johnson. Live every weekday morning beginning April 29th at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central.
Everything Boston. I love you morons. You kids from the block. New Edition.
Dear whatever the law firm is. Sincerely, the U.S. Supreme Court.
Ben Affleck. Matt Damon. Go yourself again. Jason Whitlock.
Whether it's the men's college game,
the way that this season has been going, Yeah, anything is possible.
The women's college game.
And how passionate Ancient Reef was at that press conference. They got their mojo now.
The WNBA.
AJ Wilson, Brianna Stewart 1 and 2, followed by Brittany Griner, Aaliyah Boston, Jackie Young.
Or the NBA.
The Lakers had a 0.8 chance of winning. And then what happened in the fourth quarter? LeBron James by himself outdid the Clippers.
You will get any and all of the information right at your fingertips or your earlobes. Join the Playmaker as he breaks down all things basketball in Shooting Lights Out on the Playmakers blog, network, YouTube channel, and where you can find podcasts.
All right, shout out to everybody checking us out in the comments, and again, live, real
So,
radio.
My co-host over here gave a little shout out to Wise and Hefe. And he played that commercial knowing that the NBA starts tomorrow, and he know who the first game is. See what you was. That's it. You. I see what you was doing.
Do such a thing.
Gonna play that mentality commercial. Knowing the first thing on there is blank everything Boston.
It's true.
I know what you were doing. All right, Damien, we can't answer your question because we have decided that we haven't seen the document yet. But at some point in time, we will see that document.
Absolutely. So Yolanda says, so she's not going to be on anymore. Nope. Reports are Lillian Garcia is there today, and that she'll be doing an announcement tonight. And then I guess they'll figure out what's going to be the move after that. Bobby says, I thought so. That explains a lot. Absolutely. And the question that Playmaker answered, which I wholeheartedly agree with, definitely haven't seen it yet. Damien says, question, sorry to be political here, but with everything that is happening, 28th, Vince and WWE right now, what's y'all thoughts on the writer's allegations? Seems a little sus, especially after the documentary. Again, haven't seen it yet. It's out there. A lot going on. So many sports, so many other stuff right now. I haven't had a chance to sit down and really be able to carve out the time to watch it. But it will happen. And when it happens, we're going to do it during a time where it's like a down week where we can really bust down on it right here on the Monarchs. So it's going to happen. It's going to have to be soon. But it ain't happened yet.
All right. Now I'm going to do my best that I can.
All you.
Stay on the voice. Thankfully. All right. Monday Night Raw, ladies and gentlemen. Back on October 14th. We did open up the show with Rhea Ripley, and they starting to do a lot of this backstage walking towards the arena now.
Mm-hmm.
Rhea Ripley comes out, does the normal, causing out the champion and her sidekick, which is odd because the sidekick is like much bigger than the champ, but oh well. And we have been asking for this ever since she won Money in the Bank. They finally let Tiffany Stratton show up on Monday Night Raw.
Yes.
We don't care why she's there. Just the simple fact that she showed up on Monday Night Raw. That's all we asked. Correct? That's
Absolutely.
all we asked. Now, things happen. Stuff happens. Our main event, Rhea Ripley teaming with Tiffany Stratton versus Raquel Rodriguez, Liv Morgan. All right, put a pin in that. We have 2 tournaments going on, one on each brand for the respective tag team titles. So Raw only did 1 match of this. Afro Academy and Triple H did something. Triple H went back to the NXT days because as they returned, I noticed there was a name change, sir. And I looked at the name and said, wait a minute. Ain't this what that was? The Water Raiders are back.
About time.
Not the Viking Raiders. The War Raiders are back. The face paint is gone. They just coming back to destroy teams. So the War Raiders versus Alpha Academy in the tag team tournament. It's nice to see both big men, doing athletic stuff. Okay. Ivar and Otis doing athletic stuff, handling the business, but the War Raiders come out on top. Good. We did have a championship on the line, though. The Thundercakes defending against Damage Control. But guess who was at ringside? Last Legend and Jakari Jackson.
We're gonna refer to them as the Meta Cakes.
I'm gonna get back to them a little later because that wasn't the only time we saw Last Legend and Jakari Jackson on WWE programming last week.
It was not. And I want to say thank you, Triple H. Carry on, sir.
The Thundercakes retained their title thanks to how can I put this? Io Sky being Io Sky.
Mm-hmm.
What I mean by that, those of you who listen to on the Real Rise Radio, is that Io has a habit of trying to go after anybody that gets in her way, and this one backfired on her.
Yeah.
So even though technically the champs won by a little help, which they never asked for, it's kind of Io's fault because Io she can blow a gasket at any given moment. Would you say? Cool.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So, Braun Breaker versus Kofi Kingston. Now, 1-on-1, nobody's at ringside, so we know how this match was going to go. So the match went as you would expect. Breaker wins, and I think Braun Breaker is starting to love and destroying people even after the match. Because he was getting ready to short Kofi Kingston some more until Xavier Woods got involved. And once Xavier Woods turned his back to check on his buddy Kofi Kingston, Braun Breaker was about to destroy him until Yeet came for the save.
Yeet. We're
going to talk about the Yeet Man as we go along through this because, yeah. What somebody said was going to, well, both of us said it was going to happen, but one of us was afraid that it shouldn't happen. So keep that in mind. That was just the beginning of Jey Uso's night. Now, if we was doing an upset of the week, shout out to Cole Johnson and Total Football Talk, it would be R2 beating the Miz. Now, those of you probably looking like, how in the world did R2 beat the Miz? Quite simple. The Final Testament decided to show up at the ringside for whatever reason. Distracted the Miz, which I don't think that was their intentions. And R2 rolled them up 1, 2, 3. And then, Final Testament, they decided to throw R2 back into the ring. And Miz hit R2 with a skull crushing for battle. Anything you want to say about that transparency right there? That is a no. So we're going to keep it moving. As Jay is walking towards the back, he's getting ready to head to his room. He's done for the evening. He has nothing else to do. He did what he came to do. Who was sitting in his room, sir?
Big Jim.
Big Jim.
I guess the new right hand man, Big Jim.
So Sam says, you got a second? Jay closes the door and he dips. We get to the main event now. As we said earlier, started from the beginning of the show, we ended the same way. Rhea Ripley, Tiffany Stratton versus Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan. If anything, you wanted to see how this match was going to end. Not particularly what was going to happen during the match. You just wanted to see how this was going to end. Nia Jax shows up. Causes a no contest. We don't care. Her and Rhea Ripley get into it. Her and Raquel Rodriguez get into it. Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley get into it. And then Nia Jax just starts to beat up on the world champion Morgan. Hits the Annihilator. And remember who's in the ring. That'll be one Tiffany Stratton. And sir, can you remind our audience what is Tiffany Stratton has in her possessions at the moment in time?
Tiffany Stratton is Miss Money in the Bank. Unlike the men, she didn't shoot a wad an hour after winning it.
So, the world champ is laid out. Simply go grab that briefcase. She's getting ready to cash in, and per usual, I'm not going the way that y'all think I'm going to go, but per usual, the official wants to have a discussion. Why are we having a discussion? That contract says anywhere, anytime. Am I correct?
Yes, all that means is somebody missed their cue in the back. And also, I want to say that if she really was trying to cash that in, she shouldn't have been so dim with it. Because when Liv was down, Nia was like, "Get your briefcase, pin her." She had to tell her like 3 times, and she's like, "Huh? Is you really trying to be a champ or not?"
And then Dirty Dom makes the save. How heroic for Dirty Dom. But we all knew they weren't going to cash in because they have a freaking premium live event coming up next weekend in Saudi Arabia. Which, by the way, Cody Rhodes and Gunther were. They had a face-to-face. And I left that out on purpose because, sir, anything you want to say about that face-to-face between Gunther and Cody Rhodes?
I actually liked their little face-to-face, little one-upsmanship, but on a semi-quasi respectable level. I really can't wait, and this is jumping ahead, but I really can't wait for the one that's going to be on SmackDown this week. I think that's going to be a better one. But I like them trying to justify some type of heat between the two because of this match. Because every time I look at the championship belt, I understand that they try really hard, but it sucks. And it just takes away from the feud because it sucks. Again, it sucks.
And as Raw was getting ready to go off the air, Jimmy's looking for Jay. He officially finds Jay. They are face to face. And before Jimmy can get to his point of why he's there, Jay tells him, "I said no," and get out of my face, and leaves.
Rightfully so.
That's how Monday Night Raw goes off.
Good job, Jay. Good job, sir. But then you
that
screwed up.
Was a round of applause from my brother Cool McCain. He was giving Jay a round of applause on that one. That was Monday. Friday came around, and that's where things go down here for Cool McCain.
As expected. Faster than expected, but as expected.
I'm explaining why he says unexpected, but as expected. Raw opens up with the Bloodline 2.0. We're not calling them the Bloodline. We're calling them Bloodline 2.0. Okay. We have the original Bloodline. This is 2.0. Solo gets the mic. Solo is in a suit. I haven't seen Solo wear so many suits in my life. Have you?
He must be trying to do something different with his character.
He's in the suit. The Chad Champs, they are in street clothes. But Jacob Fatu is the only one that's in ring gear. Matter of fact, Jacob Fatu is always in ring gear. Why is Jacob Fatu always in ring gear?
Maybe that's all he wear.
I was say, is it just me or he's the only one that's always in ring gear?
Maybe that's all he wear, bro. Maybe that's his clothes. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
He's bossing with some cut-off shirts and some ring gear and some shoes. Is like, bro, I'm just gonna rock this. You know what I'm saying? Hey, he do got 7 kids. Don't forget that. It might be all you 4 right now.
I'm pretty sure he's getting paid in by WWE.
Hey, 7 kids.
All right, we get the SmackDown Bloodline 2.0 comes out. Solo does the whole acknowledge me thing. He gets booed. He talks about what took place with Roman Reigns and Jimmy Uso, how Jimmy went to Raw, tried to go recruit Jay. Jay said Jay didn't want no part of it. What that tells you all you need to know, basically, right? This is where, and this is early in the night, by the way. This is the beginning of SmackDown, and this is where my co-host's night goes downhill. You hear the ooh so. Well. Guess who made the trip down south? The Intercontinental Champion Jey Uso. He is on SmackDown. Well then, this is going to be interesting now because now we picking up steam on the talk that we had last week, which my partner didn't want to have. Just the simple fact that Jay showed up to SmackDown. He gets in the ring. Him and Solo, they have a brother-to-brother talk. Solo tells him, don't call me little bro. I'm your tribal chief now. And he's not trying to divide the family as Jay said he was doing. He's trying to unite the family. Jay was like, if that's the truth and you're trying to unite the family, why did you have to get the Gorillas of Destiny? Why did you have to get Jacob Fatu? There's a reason why we stayed away from him. Which adds some wood to the fire in this case, because there's a reason behind the reason why the Bloodline didn't hang with the Gorillas of Destiny or Jacob Fatu. Okay, we're getting somewhere here. And Jay ends it off by saying, the next time I see you, it's going to be different, which is like, oh. So Jay threw a gauntlet down. Go ahead, sir.
WWE suck. You got a whole family of people, but you can't do nothing without pulling the same people in. So I'm going to take this even deeper. So you done took somebody from Raw, brought them to SmackDown to take up more time from the SmackDown talent. One of the big complaints that people have that watch the show is if you're not a fan of the Bloodline's not your favorite wrestlers or 1 or 2 other people, the people you like don't get on TV, right? The Bloodline is on the beginning of the show. The other Bloodline's on after that. The Bloodline's back in the ring. Here comes another member of the Bloodline from the other show who wanted to get away from all this. That's why he went to the other show. Now he's interjecting himself back into this. So my question is, what was the point of making Jey Uso a solo star if your whole end goal was to pull him back into this same crap? This doesn't make sense. I know that you're going to do it because you don't want to be original. Why do something different? We could just do the same thing over again. You got Hikuleo that you've already signed. Many other members of this family that you could have brought in to be the people with Roman Reigns besides Jey Uso. But you're going to use Jey Uso. He's also got his own thing going on over on Raw. So if you were going to do this, shouldn't he not have something going on Raw right now? But he's a champion. So since he's a champion, you got to defend the championship.
Yeah, we're going to get into that.
What I think is going to happen is Jay is going to get screwed out of the belt. Maybe not even by the Bloodline, just by being focused on them and Braun Breaker. And he's going to have a little quick reign as champion, and he's going to be back with Roman Reigns in the Bloodline. And I want to say to that, piss on you, writing team, piss on you, Triple H, and piss on whoever came up with this idea. You disappointed me because I knew you were going to do this, And he turned around and did it right after. There's no purpose in this. He doesn't need to be involved. Stop it. Do something different. Build up other members of the family. Ain't that what it's supposed to be about? Doesn't seem like that's what it's about. It seems like it's about Roman Reigns, his two cousins that he grew up like brothers, and whoever the fourth person, that may be Hikuleo. That may not even be him. They may bring him in. They might just sign him in and put him in NXT for 6 years. Who knows? And maybe Sami Zayn. Who knows what they're going to do? But my whole issue is, I know you got an OG bloodline. Cool. You only have Paul Heyman there right now. Anyway, so you don't have a full group, no way. Secondly, you made him a star. Let him do his thing. Let him be the Yeet Master. Let him do his thing on Raw. We don't need him coming to SmackDown, which means what? One of the things I hate the most is going to start happening. We're going to start seeing more bloodline people on Raw. What's the point in putting them on one show if they're going to be all over? Thank you, WWE. And again, hot 2 Coke summer sweat piss on you.
That was just the beginning of it. We ain't even finished with the bloodline yet. Now, I did say we had tournaments, right? For the tag team titles over Respect the Brands. DIY defeated Street Profits and Pretty Deadly to win the first one. Well,
and that was,
I can't even argue with the finish on that one because Tommaso Ciampa did pin the right competitor, so I can't even front on that one.
I just say the right team lost. How about that?
And he was referring to Pretty Deadly.
Yes.
Being the ones that
they're not deadly and they're not pretty.
And then A-Town Down Under. Los Garza. Finally back on TV from how long? And then the Motor City Machine Gun. Who would ever thought Chris Sabin would be in the WWE ring at this moment in time?
But the moment that you knew they was in this match, who did you know was going to win this match?
Oh, Machine Gun. Good for them. They got a dub. And later on Friday, Motor Machine Gun and DIY will battle for the #1 contender spot for the Guerrillas of Destiny in those WWE Tag Team titles. Last Legend. She had a match on SmackDown. So on WWE. So are y'all telling me? So y'all telling me y'all bringing up the Medicates without telling me you bringing up the Medicates, right? Because that was on SmackDown last week. I mean, the week before, with a chance to win the tag team titles. They showed up on Raw, even though they was in the fan section. And then Last Legend has a match on SmackDown where she beats Piper Niven. So telling me they coming to the main roster without telling me they coming to the main roster. By the way, Jakari Jackson was paying her tribute to Lita, and I was very thoroughly happy to see. I don't know why you're shaking your head because you was happy too.
I'm not shaking my head from sadness. I'm shaking my head at the mirror.
Yeah, sorry. You have my attention. Now we get back to the bloodline because backstage, Big Jim and Ramon finally make it to the arena. By the way, they was in Columbus, South Carolina, home of the 2024 National Women's Basketball Champions, the South Carolina Gamecocks. They finally make it to the arena. They are rocking, they are finna do it, and Jay walks up. Yeah, you can feel. I know you don't like it, cool, but hang with me on this one. You can see and feel the tension between Roman and Jay. You can see it and feel it. And it's crazy when you have two alpha males and you can just see it. Roman, he went the high road. Grab Jay, told Jay, proud of you. We all are. Jay, who is in his feelings, no yeet, and walked away. Anything you want to say on that one? But you can feel and see the tension between the two.
Nope. I've already said what I need to say.
Oh, but my co-hosts, they got even worse. And this one didn't have to deal with the bloodline. The WWE Universal Champion Cody Rhodes shows up. And the championship of Crown Jewel has made it to SmackDown. As you can tell, to discuss the disdain that my co-host has for this. Cody Rhodes comes out. And the only important thing to reveal from his promo that he invited Gunther to come to SmackDown this coming Friday for a face-to-face right before they take each other's heads off at Crown Jewel.
There's good news. This means Cody won't be on Raw tonight. That's the good news.
Knowing him, he still might show up.
He probably show up and be like, Gunther, I just want to make sure that you're coming on Friday.
I hate to be the doubter, but I'm just saying. It's Cody Rhodes. I think Cody Rhodes has the green light to do whatever he wants. Okay. That's the way I feel. He has the green light to do whatever he wants.
I feel it, but there's a such thing as overexposure. But he's the new John Cena, so it's inevitable that I was only gonna be happy with it for so long.
Now we get to Kevin Owens, who is posting videos on social media to somewhat explain what's going on without really explaining. Here's my thing with Kevin Owens. You say WWE don't give you a mic, they don't let you explain what you're doing. You told them if they don't play your video on SmackDown, that you will post your video and your explanation of why you did what you did. You still haven't said why you did what you did. So guess what? This is all a forgave now. Now you want to talk about how Randy Orton broke your trust, which I don't see the logic in that whatsoever. Now, what you did to Cody Rhodes, people would acknowledge it. Teaming with Roman Reigns, feels like Cody Rhodes put himself in it, and he did not put himself into it. If you get my drift, meaning Cody Rhodes, he was already dealing with the bloodline before Roman came back. Roman tried to give him an out, but he didn't take that out. So if you feel some type of way about that, me and Cool, we're not gonna argue with you because most likely we probably gonna agree with you. Because Cody Rhodes had an out, he didn't take that out. But for Kevin Owens to act like Randy Orton did something terrible to him, that doesn't make any sense. Randy Orton, out of all people, Randy Orton was the one playing Peacekeeper. Let's think about that for a minute. Randy Orton the one playing Peacekeeper.
For him. That is a new role for him.
But Kevin Owens acting like he did something wrong. So Randy Orton was like, give me Kevin Owens. I don't care when. Just give me Kevin Owens. Nick Aldis says, I can't do it. What you mean you can't do it? Well, that's not coming from me. Which means, are we going to start seeing the head man in charge sometime soon now?
We're going to see him before Crown Jewel.
Yeah, we're going to see him at Crown Jewel.
We're going to see him before then because he got to come to Raw and give Randy Orton that match.
So this is coming from Triple H himself. So that means Triple H is going to have to make this match happen, which is quite interesting. Then we get to the main event because it was an interesting part. We were backstage earlier in the night. Nia Jax was on the phone with Miss Money in the Bank. Miss Money in the Bank, she has the flu. Oh, what did Nia Jax call it? The sniffles. Is that what she called it? The sniffles.
That's what she called it.
And she was like, "Well, Nick Aldis got to cancel the match." Nick Aldis is right there. Was like, this match is not canceled." What do you mean this match is not canceled? Like my partner's like sick. Well, that's a very. This is what Cool likes to hear. Well, we have a loaded or also female superstars. I mean, you can pick any one of them to be your teammate. And to me, he was being sarcastic because he know that Nia Jax damn near ran through the whole entire women's roster. So who won the team with her? Lucky enough, and we go right back to what Cool don't like. The Speed Champion, Candice LeRae, comes in. SmackDown was not your night, sir. I'm just gonna say that. SmackDown was not your night.
I watched SmackDown, and I'm literally like, they better be glad that I actually do a show. I would turn this crap off.
For what? This is probably the first SmackDown. This is probably the first time in a long time that SmackDown did not do you any favors.
None.
Everywhere you turn, it was that you did like.
Oh, here's the problem with the Speed Champions, Playmaker. I'm gonna give you my real problem with the Speed Champions. They don't even let them wear the belts on TV. That's how little they care about their own champion.
It's literally a social media championship. That's what
you're the Speed Champion. They don't even let you bring your belt with you to the show when you're on the show.
It's a social media championship. You can't even bring, but
you can't even have it with you.
For me to say this, for me to say this, that means Cool know how. That tells you how far I'm going with this. Speed Champion is a social media button, and we can let The Rock, the final boss, bring the People's Champion with him.
Thank you. A championship. Oh, and just for y'all who may not know, without the big part Brahma Bull in the middle plate, that was the same concept belt that WWE already had for The Rock when he came back. They were already making that belt. They just added one little more piece to it, and then they had them act like it came from Muhammad Ali's widow when it did not.
I'm gonna be honest, I ain't know Muhammad Ali actually had a belt like that.
He didn't. Why would he have a belt like that? Why would they make a? Why would his wife have a belt like that? Why? Clearly,
if that's a
Dr. Amelia said, just pretend like you giving The Rock this belt.
That's a legendary boxer, and you telling me that legendary boxer had a belt like that, and he didn't give it to another boxer? You know, like a Floyd Mayweather, like a Tyson Fury, Mike Tyson. I mean, can I keep going with the names of boxers? That was
Jimmy Crack Corn if you want,
but we're gonna give it to The Rock. And Cool will tell you, I'm the biggest Dwayne The Rock Johnson fan in this world.
I'm a very big Rock fan myself.
I know you are, but you know my like that. You know that's number one on the list. If you're gonna ask me who's number one, I'm telling you The Rock.
Me too.
So,
who over The Rock? You tell me somebody you can pick over The Rock.
Most people.
It doesn't matter who you try to pick. Know your role is just your mouth.
Most people would pick Stone Cold, but I digress.
Know their role is shut their mouth.
Because I did say it get from bad to worse from my co-host, right? So we have the Speed Champion teaming with the WWE Women's Champion, and they actually beat the team of Naomi and Bayley. And that would be Candice LeRae the one getting the W.
You're the Speed Champion. You can't even wear your belt on an actual show, but you can call yourself the champion. You're not featured on TV. You're about the size of a 13-year-old.
A superstar who is on TV week after week after week.
You beat.
I told you, it get bad from worse. Candice LeRae got the pinfall. Not Nia Jax. Not Bayley, not Naomi.
And still didn't have the championship with her. Where's the championship?
That's how crazy that SmackDown was Friday. And then we're not done because we got to finish it off how we started. Just, you know how Raw started, started with Rhea Ripley and Tiffany Stratton, and we had to end it with Rhea Ripley and Tiffany Stratton. Well, we started SmackDown with the Bloodline. Guess what we ended the show with? the Bloodline. Roman Reigns comes out and he says, probably for the last and final time, Columbia, South Carolina, acknowledge me. He got that last one in. Solo music hits. And why is Solo in ring gear? Somebody explain that to me. And I know we over time, sorry, but somebody explain it. Why the man started out in a suit and he ends the show in ring gear, but he ain't in no match.
They already told you what was gonna happen. That said everything that need to be said.
Good gracious. And it was just him at the moment in time. And, you know, he saw Roman. Roman, he did the whole baby face. I want to fix this, all this, but I got to do all this other stuff. And it was Solo say, you have to acknowledge me. No. You have to acknowledge me as your tribal chief. And then he put that famous phrase in there. Those of you who are guys, y'all know that famous phrase that gets you every time. Or else. Or else what? Exactly what Roman said.
They went exactly how I thought it would when you said or else.
You know, every time that line comes into play, you know that's the trigger. That's the trigger line right there. Or else. Or else what? And then being the bloodline that they are, because they still a bloodline. With they 2.0 or the OG, they still doing bloodline things. They already had Jimmy. They already had Jimmy who's already beaten up and battered. So it pretty much Roman was on his own, and per usual, 4 against 1, we know how this ends. Roman Reigns takes 2 spikes to the throat. And that's how SmackDown ends. There was no Jay sighting on that one, okay? That's the good part. There was no Jay sighting on that one. That was it.
That's not the good part. We already had more Jay sightings than we needed.
You don't even care. So now, as Raw has already kicked off, Seth Rollins will have a face-to-face with Big Bronson Reed. So we're going to get that match. We just don't know when or where. Probably Crown Jewel, because that's like the next premium live event. I hope not, but I don't think they can wait long enough to wait to Survivor Series since they ain't really doing brand versus brand. They already took the champions out the way because they're doing that at Crown Jewel. Number 1 contenders tag match. We have the New Day taking on AOP. That's going to be interesting to see how that
AOP
goes.
is going to win that match. We already know.
They shouldn't, but
actually
they should. They should, and they shouldn't at the same time. They shouldn't because they are the bigger. They are the bigger and more dominant team, but they shouldn't because the New Day is more popular. So yeah,
the New Day ain't gonna be the New Day much longer.
We also have another tag team match: Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee going against American Made. There's no way I see American Made losing that match.
Exactly.
I just don't. And here's the biggest concern out of anything between my co-hosts. Intercontinental title match. Now, last week they said there was going to be a matchup coming. We didn't know when and where, and they decided to put it on Raw. We're going to run it back on the same show.
SmackDown and talk smack to the Bloodline 2.0.
And we're going to run it right back on the same show on Raw as we did last time. And you might end up getting the same result. And what I mean by the same result, that means a change in the titles. So that's the concern for us right now, that Jey Uso might actually lose this title now.
Due to some hogwash, I'm going to say.
So, sir, as we closing in on 15 minutes of Raw time and 6 minutes past the 90-minute mark, any more frustrations you want to let out as we close out the show?
SmackDown, you stunk. Triple H, do better.
And he usually doesn't say that about SmackDown.
And Shawn Michaels, You the king of cakes, sir. You are the king of cakes. That's it. That's all I got.
Yeah. Whenever I get the opportunity and find a way to get CW in this lovely apartment that I am in, I will be watching NXT because Shawn Michaels think he's. And we see what you're doing, Shawn Michaels. We might not be able to watch NXT, but we be paying attention to social media. We see what you're doing. And outside of that, sir, we're gonna call it a night on this one because we're gonna go catch this Raw, and hopefully and pray that a title doesn't change hands tonight.
I feel it. I'm gonna run through these comments real quick, and then we out. From our peoples. Damien says, "Where is Sarah Logan? They don't need her no more, sir. They're not Vikings." Damien says Raw was better last week. Still kind of missed the 3-hour show. Everything was better last week. SmackDown was 1,000 times better last week. Yolanda says I agree 100%. She's talking about my rant.
She's talking about your rant.
We're going with our boy, the Eater of Eaters. She says Paul Heyman needs to return for Roman. He definitely does.
He already put that out there when he said he's not a wise guy. He did put
Yolanda says BS. I agree with that. Still talking about that crap. Damien says breaking news: Lillian Garcia is back in WWE full-time ring announcer. Yeah, I did see that.
So I'm guessing that's how they open up the show. I'm guessing that's how they open the show. So I'll be going back to watch that.
Yolanda says, "Oh, really?" Damien says, "Darn, Lillian came out of retirement like Steen." She did.
Well, to be honest, Lillian only reason why Lillian Garcia actually retired is because her mom, I think her mom or her dad was having health issues.
Yeah,
and she wanted to be able to take care of them as long as they were still around.
Mm-hmm. And Yolanda says they're going to treat Miss Jackson like the chick that was with Naomi. She's talking about Cameron from the Funkadactyls. I hope they don't do it like that.
No, they can't. No, not Miss Jackson. Oh my gosh, Miss Jackson.
I hope they don't. All right. That being said, 2 things left. Make sure you tell 4 people you think are your friends that may or may not like you, and 4 people who are your enemies to come and check us out next Monday night, right here, Monarchs of Wrestling. If you listen to this anywhere besides at Real Play Callers on YouTube, make sure you go type it in, check us out, leave that like, leave that sub, and then about that share out for everybody.
Definitely tune in next week because we will be previewing that offer PLE up in Saudi Arabia.
Yes, we will. And that being said, it's never where you start. It's always where you finish. Hit up that Raw, and we out.